Hey, happy Saturday and welcome to the new year 2024. I am Alviana Brewster, the CEO of Black Nurse Entrepreneurs, the premier organization for Black nurses interested in launching, building, and growing their entrepreneurial endeavors worldwide. And I am super excited to see you. You guys made it to 2024, and my prayer to you and for you is that this will be your best year yet in business. If you have not started your business and you desire to start one, then now is the time. If you're already in business and looking to build, grow, scale, now is the time. So my prayer is that this is your best year yet in business. With that being said, January, we are going to kick off this season with the topic of financial health. I wanted to start off the new year really talking about how we can be healthy in our finances within our business. Okay. So today's topic is my biggest financial mistake. Of course, we had to hit it with a banger, right? So, one of the things that I wanted to say first before hopping into our topic is, as you heard me say, my topic is my biggest financial mistake, but I'm feeling generous today. I'm going to give you lots of financial mistakes that I've made, and you pick the one that resonates best with you and you take it and run with it, because my goal is that you literally learn from the things that I've done wrong, okay? So let me kick this off. Let me look here. The first thing I will say was one of my biggest financial mistakes was not investing in some type of coaching very early on. I started B&E in 2015, and initially it was not a business model. I did not have a plan to make it a business model. But on the other side, I was running some little small businesses that I had started, and I was running these things all by myself. And I did not have a coach for guidance. So it wasn't until about 2019. I had started my very first business in 2012, and then B&E in 15, and then 19 is when I actually thought, maybe I should get a coach. Along the way, I would take maybe like little small classes, or I'd listen into webinars. I would catch a lot of free information, lots of YouTube, lots of Facebook Lives and things like that. But I did not have a solid coach to guide me along the way. Now, the benefit for me was I learned how to do a lot of different things. But honestly, the struggle for me was taking the time to have to learn stuff. And we all know that time is money. It literally is money. So the longer you take to do something, the more money that you'll potentially waste in the long run. And so if I had gotten a coach early on, I feel like a lot of those little financial issues that I had, or time issues even, would have been shortened and condensed, because the coach would have been able to give me the roadmap quickly. I could have executed a lot higher, and then I could have made a lot more money a lot sooner. So investing in a coach, I thought that I didn't have the money to do it. I didn't have the time to do it, and I could do it all on my own. And that proved to be wrong. So my advice to you is make sure that you invest in a coach very early on in your business journey. The next thing I will say is really not investing into a CPA and bookkeeper early on. I thought that, I only have a few transactions. I can manage this. And, for all those years, I managed my taxes and I did it just fine. I kept my receipts. I went in and uploaded all the stuff I needed to. I was very meticulous about my bookkeeping. But there came a time where my business grew, and it grew quicker than I had enough time to sit around and monitor those transactions. And so one thing that happened was, when it first came time for me to say, you know what, I don't have the time or the capacity to be doing this, I did hire a CPA, but I wasn't even ready to turn over the full reins to him. And so I had him on retainer, a little cheap retainer every month. And the thing that cost me the most in the long run is there was things that I was asking him about, very specific stuff. I asked him, hey, do I need to be filing this tax or that tax or what have you? And he was like, yeah, you need to do that. That's easy. Go do it. And then he didn't follow up, or I didn't know, and it got put on the back burner. And before I knew it, I had amassed a horrendous amount of back taxes. And I was really good about monitoring and meticulously watching and stuff, but there's just some things you don't know. And I really wish that he would have told me. I ended up having to pay fines that I wasn't expecting to pay. And in that moment, I was like, first of all, I got to get rid of you. Second of all, I've got to get a bookkeeper and a CPA on board ASAP, because these transactions are more than I can keep up with. And I want to make sure that my stuff is being done appropriately, legally, and and that the IRS is satisfied with what I'm doing. So I made sure that I hired a professional to take care of that. That's not my lane. But one thing that we do is we sit and we meet and we talk about it. We talk about my financial health, my outlook, my cash flow, and things like that. And I'm happy now where I am opposed to where I was a few years ago, because we do this we monitor these transactions every single day. We talk about them frequently. It's being my bookkeeper is keeping up with them, all of that. And I feel confident, more confident in my financial health than I ever have did in the past. Okay. So you need somebody on board that can help you to manage that part of your business. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about is contracts. Oh, I remember there was somebody that I worked with a couple of years ago, and this individual was not as particular on things as I am. And so I was kind of caught in the crossroad of, you know, everybody says you need to delegate. Everybody says that you need to spend time focus on the things that you're good at. And so I trusted this individual because he told me that he was good at what he did, you know. He had receipts. He had experience. He had years of this and years of that, and he was telling me all these things. But one thing I did not require him to do is sign a contract. And he was very like, oh, I don't do that stuff. That's not me. I don't do all that stuff. And those should have been red flags to me. And in the long run, it cost me more money and heartache to deal with him during that season than to just be like, you know what, this is not how I operate my business. And so we need to move on from that. Having contracts and agreements in place will save you money on the long run. Trust me when I say this, okay? Trust me, trust me, trust me, because you don't want unnecessary fines. You don't want to have to pay out unnecessary money. You don't want to lose unnecessary money because you don't have those appropriate things in place. I don't care who it is. I don't care what partnerships and deals that you do. Make sure that your contracts and agreements are tight. I am telling you what I know. Okay. I've seen it time and time again where people trust people and feel like, oh, I don't need to do that. And it end up biting them in the butt in the long run, whether it's legally, financially, or all of the above. Okay. So make sure that you require those things for your transactions. Another thing that I will say that I wish I would have done early on is really built up my business credit in the beginning. Now, in my defense, I really didn't know much about business credit. And then you know how we are. We're taught, we got to fear credit, don't use credit cards. If you ain't got cash, don't pay for it and all that. But I do believe there's a healthy way to build your business and your personal finances with utilizing credit and debt in a smart, strategic way. Okay. You got to learn the difference between the two. And I didn't want to have all of that debt and credit cards and all that. I was like, look, I don't like this monthly bill. If I ain't got it, I ain't got it, all that. And then I started building business credit. And when I built business credit, I amassed a lot of business credit very quickly. And it was a lifesaver for my business because now I have access to the capital that I didn't know that I had access to early on. And so I wish I would have taken initiative, but I simply didn't know. I really didn't know, and I didn't know the importance of it. I didn't know how to do it or anything like that. But once I did find out, it was game on. It was game on. It was a game changer for my business. And it really has helped me to stay even afloat in times where there's a downfall in maybe cash flow and revenue. My business credit was there to help to keep the business afloat. And then, like I said earlier, it provided the access to capital that I didn't know that I had. And another thing about business credit is you think about what I said earlier about I didn't think that I had enough money to afford a coach. Well, now I got enough money to afford the coach because boom, there's my credit sitting there to help me out. So another thing I will say is going too big too quickly. I want to encourage each of you to be very, very careful as you start to grow. Sometimes we look at everybody else and we kind of want what they want, or, maybe admire, oh my gosh, they bought a boat, or oh my gosh, they sold out a massive event or whatever. And that's good and dandy. But one thing I've learned about people's stories and journeys, you'll just see what's on the front, but you don't know what happened on the back end, and you don't know what they've done in order to get to where they are. And I would encourage you to be careful not to get the big eyes and say, well, I want that, and then go big too quickly. You want to make sure that you're testing things along the way. If your assumption is, hey, I can throw this event, or hey, I can purchase this, or what have you, test that in small increments along the way. Make sure that the market is ready for this big idea that you have, and make sure that you and your team are ready. Make sure that your business is ready. I made the mistake of going too big too quickly, and it bite me in the butt later on because boom, I was settled with a massive financial bill that I wasn't prepared for out of the blue. Thank God for business credit, it saved me. But the thing about it is, I don't want you to be settled with a massive financial bill out of the blue that you weren't expecting. I don't want that burden for you because once you have a financial burden in place, it is hard sometimes to come out from under it. And it also really affects you as a person and as a business owner. That stress and that pressure hanging over you all the time can be very, very, very just stressful, overwhelming. So, sometimes people look at brick and mortars and say, hey, I want a brick and mortar. I had a conversation with one of my friends the other day, honestly, and she's like, I'm not going to do brick and mortar just yet. I'm going to do all virtual. And I told her that is a fantastic idea. If you can stay virtual and run your business effectively, I see no problem with it because once you go brick and mortar, that's going really big. You need to be ready to handle that type of overhead. Okay. So I encourage each of you to be careful not to go too big too quickly because I don't want you to be settled down with a massive financial burden. I don't want you to have to work every day. I don't want you to have X amount of clients. I don't want that stress on you. Okay. And then, oh, this is a good one. This is probably the one of the best ones, right? One of my biggest financial mistakes is not having a financial advisor soon enough. I wish I would have had my financial advisor before I needed my financial advisor. Okay. You have two choices. You can get one early on and prevent mistakes, or you can get one on the back end and they have to help you to clean up the mistakes. Get you a financial advisor early on. The irony of this is I was sitting in a financial advisor's office year 2008. We all know what happened in 2008 when the market crashed. I was literally sitting in a financial advisor's office that day and he was freaking out. He kept going, oh my God, this is not good. Oh my gosh. He's yelling, he's screaming. And I was like, I didn't know what to think. I was like, you're the financial advisor. If you're yelling and screaming because of the market, well, I sure don't want to put my money in the market. And so I didn't. And it took me years to start investing. It took me years to get a financial advisor. And I wish that I would have done it back in 2008. That actually was a prime time to do it. And I missed out on a lot of money along the way by not trusting in the system way back then, right? My financial advisor, I feel like if I would have had her a lot sooner, then all of the financial mistakes that I literally just broke down to you guys probably would have been avoided. We could have had that conversation long before. And the cool thing about my financial advisor is she's extremely busy savvy also. And so she really helps me to strategize on offerings and things I could do within the business to increase my cash flow, but also strategic ways in order to invest and place my money in certain areas. And so I think the financial advisor piece is probably one of the biggest areas that I can encourage you to think about getting somebody and bringing them on board. Okay. So in summary, this is what I just want to say to you is that mistakes can be very costly. They can be very costly, but I believe it's, how you look at things too. My saying here lately is sometimes we have to spend money in order to learn a very valuable mistake. Now, sometimes people don't like losing money. People don't like wasting money. But if something happens to you where you lose your money, look at the lesson that's learned. My thing is this: I would rather lose money. I would rather lose $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 now to avoid me from making a $1 million mistake later on in the future. So sometimes it's our perspective, how we actually look at something and go about thinking about it. I want you to learn the lessons from my situation, and I also want you to learn the valuable lessons from others and even yourself. There's no way that you're going to be able to run a business without making some mistake. It's going to happen, but get those people on board that can help you, your CPAs, your bookkeepers, your financial advisors, get your good coaches on board, get people around you who know how to avoid these things and then really, really learn from these situations. Okay. So that's my time. Thank you for tuning in. I am excited about what year 2024 has to bring, and I hope it blesses you. I dare not end our conversation when inviting you to join our membership. Down there below, I put the link. B&E Elite is where we enjoy all aspects on a higher level of B&E, from our advertisement, visibility. We mastermind, we mentor each other, we hold each other accountable. We just have more exclusivity in our membership. And so I wanted to invite you the opportunity. I want to invite you and give you the opportunity, I should say, to join us. You can hop on our website, blacknurseentrepreneurs.org, and go to the membership tab and just hop in. We would love to pour into you. We would love to support you and help you along this journey called business and life. Much love to you. Again, my prayers, and I'm just hoping for blessings upon blessings in year 2024. Okay? Much love. Bye now.